Nick Farrow here again, and we're continuing with the lesson on and the. The first part of the lesson described how in a conversation or in a written text there is a frequent pattern, and generally the noun phrases beginning with a progress to noun phrases beginning with the, because there is a progression from new information to known information. But what about these? We are not referring to something we mentioned before, but everybody knows what the world is, and everybody knows the sun and the sky. Even with an abstract concept like the future, we can be sure that both the writer and the reader, or the speaker and the listener, are both familiar with the idea. In this case, we choose the word the. Next, we're going to look at some mini conversations. And these are different too. So, why is it correct to use the in these cases? In each of these examples, both people will naturally understand the topic. It's clear, fixed, and definite in every case. In the first conversation, B will not say which floor. The floor that A is talking about is obvious to B. It's definite, and therefore A uses the word the. Number 2, the same. In 3, they will be talking about or referring to the nearest station, or perhaps the station that they always meet at. Number 4, most houses have only one kitchen, so that's definite, it's in the kitchen. For number 5, we should imagine people eating at a table, so there would only be one pot of salt available, so it's the salt. Number 6 is a little different. We can imagine that A and B are in a big room, maybe a bar, and they can see a guy, but this guy is the only one standing by the door, so he is definite. The guy. Next, let's look at some written material. And when we write, we need to think about whether the reader can easily understand what we are writing about. In all the examples on this slide, the reader can easily imagine the things being referred to. When you read about John being in his garden, would you say, "Where is the grass?" or "What grass?" No, it's easy to imagine. And if Paul parks in front of his house, then it's probably on a road. Therefore, he obviously crossed the road that is in front of his house. And finally, the hotel website writer also knows that his readers understand that there is only one first floor on any hotel. Here is something different. Look at these 3 examples. The first example here uses a standard pattern, the plus adjective plus est. with the same logic that there is only one sun and only one moon, there can only be one highest mountain in the world. Therefore, it's definite, and we use the. The second example is similar. There could only have been one first man walking on the moon. So we must use the. And in the third example, I can only meet one kindest man in my life, so he must be the kindest man I have ever met. The next slide is a longer piece and is a little bit challenging. Please look for the progression of a to the, as well as other examples of points we have studied already. The next slide is going to tell part of a story with two Chicago detectives and a dangerous gangster. Have a look and pause the video, read it, and think about why the writer used a or the in each case. First, you should be able to see a general progression from introducing new noun phrases using a, and then the later references using the. A bar, the bar, a gangster, the gangster, etc. But there are also some difficult points. In the fourth line, there is a reference to the street outside. The use of the is correct because any reader will already know that there must be a street outside the bar. Also, there's usually only one front door, so it's the front door. Now, when Joey says, "Am I the guy you were looking for, officers?" it tells us that these policemen were looking for him at this time, one special person, and therefore the guy. One other point is that although different words may be used, such as siren and noise, the different words are referring to the same thing. So there is still a normal progression from a to the. I hope the other examples in this piece are understandable for you. And now it's time to do some practice. Have a look at the following slide and find the mistakes in the uses of a and the. Some of the cases are correct, but many are wrong. Read through, pause the video until you are ready to check with me, and we'll highlight the mistakes in red. Here they are. You can see the mistakes now. Let's have a look. Kelly was a secretary. Okay, there are many secretaries. In the small town, not okay. For the same reason, there are many small towns. She was at home and she was having the bad day. Well, it's very likely she has many bad days. This is one of many. So it has to be a bad day, not the bad day. She had a headache. Good. Because she went to the party the night before. Now it gets complicated. She probably goes to many parties. So she went to a party. But on this day that we are talking about, there was only one night before, and therefore the is okay. She sat in a kitchen. No, she has one kitchen. It would be the kitchen. And she drank the cup of coffee. No, she has many cups of coffee. It's a cup of coffee. She turned on the TV. Good, there's only one. And began to watch. There was a program. Good, new information. About the man. Not good, because it's new information. Who was eating steak and drinking beer. Kelly felt ill, so she found a remote control. No, there's only one remote control for that TV. It's definite. The. And changed to a new channel. Okay, there are many channels. On the new channel, it's definite now. Good. There was the aerobics program. No, it's an aerobics program because it's new information. That's all from this one. I hope it's clearer now. So please take a break and then move on to part 3. And in part 3, we will look at the use of a, and we're going to try out a more challenging practice task.